Alright, in this video I'm going to be talking about copying the radio profile. Again, this is a Futaba T8FG Super transmitter. This is what I use for my helicopters, and find it to be very easy to use. Some people may be using Spectrum or other equipment. I can't really speak to that, so someone else is going to have to carry the torch to create any kind of videos for that. For me, setting up the 8FG with the HeliCommand HC3sX, I went through and set everything up so that it was working properly with my radio to adjust the gains in mine. For the gyro, for the tail gyro, I just go to the gyro menu, and if I want to adjust anything for the tail, I would just go here to the gyro menu and 80%. These two here for aileron and elevator don't matter. That's really if you have a Futaba CGY 750, then you could adjust those gains from there. On the HeliCommand though, this rudder AVCS on the gyro screen does work one-to-one with the diagnose page on the HeliCommand software for adjusting the tail gain, so I never had to assign it to a knob or anything like that up here. You can do that, and it's going to give you a little bit of maybe an easier adjustment without having to go to the screen, but for me personally, I didn't mind doing that. It works with my hold switch, so when I'm in normal or hold, it's good either way. And I've got mine, the current model that I'm selected to, I have 3 idle up conditions, so that's why it says 80. When I'm normally in normal, or idle up, okay, this is my normal mode is 80. When I go to idle up 1, it's 60%, my idle up 2 is 60, and my idle up 3 is 60. But don't worry about any of that. I was just pointing out that the rudder AVCS or rudder gyro on the 8FG can be handled right here with the HeliCommand, and you never have to deselect any of this. If you want to go into rate mode, all you would have to do is go to AVCS and switch that to normal, and then now your heading hold is off on the tail. That's as simple as it is. So I'll go back. I don't ever do that. I just leave it on AVCS all the time. So what I was talking about though, once you have your gain all set up and you've got your default head gain programmed into the HeliCommand, what I like to do just to make it simpler is I go in and I create a new model, or actually I copy my model that was so if I was on my original model, I call that my gain model. So this was, you consider this to be my original setup. This is where when I did my initial HeliCommand setup to this radio, I set it all up and I adjusted it to where these knobs represented the gain. This knob up here is my head gain knob, and you can see that by going into the servo menu, and I had that head gain assigned to channel 8, and as you move that, you see channel 8 moving. And so that's where I keep it when I'm selected to this model. Now say you're done and you've got your gains adjusted how you want them, and you want to go on and set up your horizon mode. You got to go in and change some switching and channels. So rather than screwing up the model that's good for changing gain, in case I feel like going back and changing gain again or doing real-time tuning or anything like that, I don't want to have to reprogram this knob and the auxiliary channel and all that. So what I do is I go to the home screen. I labeled this gain. This is Goblin gain is all that means. You only have so many characters to type on there. And I create a new model. Mine, I've already got Goblin Horizon here, but we're going to go ahead and say new model, and excuse me, not new. Let me back out of that. We're going to come in here and click on that and copy it. We're not creating a new model. We're copying this model, and I'm going to say to the transmitter, and then come down here and just say copy. Hold that down for 1 second. It goes into copy. Now it says Goblin Gain 1. And all that means is that I was successful at creating that copy. Then I go back to my home page, and I want to go to Goblin Gain 1. And actually right here I'm going to rename it. Now I already have the Horizon Goblin transmitter setup, or model in the transmitter setup. So for the purpose of this instruction, I'm just going to go ahead and call this something else actually, let me come back over here and we'll delete all that, and I'm just going to call it Goblin test or train, excuse me. We'll call this Goblin train, which just means I'm using it for this training video. That way I continue to select the right one. So Goblin, whoops, can't spell. Goblin train. And then you have to go down and make sure you press enter over here or it won't save that. And now it's saved. Then I can go back up to model select, and if I want to select this model, which I do, you press it once, then you hold it for 1 second, comes up, and now I'm on to the new model. And what this is it's a copy of the gain version that I had set up where this knob was working. But I don't want this knob to work anymore. Now I want to go and begin to program the horizon mode and the bailout and all that stuff to work, which for me, I use this momentary switch back here for bailout, the switch back here, and then for my horizon mode, I use this 3-position switch. I fly pinching, so as I'm flying around, I can easily reach up and do that, no problem for horizon, and I've always got my finger back here on the bailout if I ever need to use that, so it's very easy. So from here, we're going to go in and we're going to reprogram this switch to work, to deprogram this switch rather, and this is going to set us up for being able to program the horizon and bailout switches.